Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So I'm just diving straight into this one. Let's talk about Harry and William being in the same room together again and the reasons why I think, rather than the media calling it Operation Bring Harry In From the Cold, I think that's been made up by someone possibly American, and it's more Operation No. No thank you, hell no, absolutely not. So let's just break this down into as many pieces as I can. Harry came over for the memorial service for his uncle, Lord Fellows. Now, lots of people at first didn't believe that Harry was in fact there and it was just stirring it up to get media attention, probably, rumours from Montecito. Because of course, as we all know, Harry is about to have his book Spare re-released. Now, I do think there is some truth to that with the amount of stories that have come out and the drama that has been created for the fact that Harry did come to the UK. But the reason why people didn't believe that it could be Harry was because there were no photographs. There were no photographs of Harry going from Lax Airport. There were no photographs of Harry arriving at Heathrow with a solemn face. There were no photographs around the church. We didn't see a big presidential motorcade. We didn't see snipers. We didn't see drones. You generally catch my drift of what I'm saying. Harry didn't have any of that fuss around him. Now, I believe this in part was in stipulation by the Spencers. They did not even alert the villagers of Snetsham that they were having the memorial at St Mary's Church. This is because even with Prince William going, the media are bloodthirsty. They don't care that it's someone's memorial or someone's funeral. They would have been there in their droves. So villagers confirmed that they only found out that a service was happening the very same morning that St Mary's Church held it. So this obviously helped in reducing the initial media attention. Now, once obviously the media got hold of the fact that Harry was there, I wonder how that got leaked. We, of course, had the bombardment all across social media. All of the outlets were up to it. But the main story that came out that put a bee in my bonnet was talking about how Prince William needs to be the bigger man. I'm sorry, I think Prince William has already been the bigger man. When you think of the awful attacks that Harry has done in the best part of a 5-year campaign of waging a one-sided war against his family, he's attacked their grandparents, he's attacked their father, he's obviously gone after Camilla, he has merged Diana's legacy. I've heard more about Princess Diana in the last few years from Harry than what I ever did when she was alive in the subsequent years after her death. He uses Diana as a shield and to obviously keep himself in the headlines. I am my mother's son. I'm continuing on Diana's legacy. But the real problem, I think, with Harry and the reasons why Prince William will never forgive him is his attacks on the Princess of Wales. Harry vilified Catherine as being cold and snobbish towards Meghan. He revealed private text messages in Spare between the two women. He's implied that William didn't marry Catherine for love. He only married her as she fit the mould. This was parroted by Omid Scobie, who went on to call Catherine a Stepford wife. He also allowed their chief trumpet blower to call Catherine the royal racist alongside their father King Charles. And Harry has done absolutely nothing about that narrative being pushed and being spread by the bots and, of course, their fan base. We know that Harry and Meghan like to get their spokespeople to come out to set the record straight over the most ridiculous things, despite knowing that Catherine is going through everything she's been through, from the major surgery earlier in the year, the fact that she's got cancer and she's fighting it. Harry has never, ever once even put out a statement to say what Omid Scobie said isn't true. He has allowed that narrative to continue. Now, not only that, he has also implied that Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis will turn out just like him, and he's worried and feels a responsibility towards them. I suggest Prince Harry spends more time being concerned about his own 2 children, who, as he jet sets around the world, goes to concerts and award shows, and they are left with nannies. a great way to break that generational cycle of pain and trauma that he has spoken about so many times. But the utter hypocrisy when it comes to Harry, when you think that he's still suing lots of media outlets, talking about how they destroyed his life and his relationships with friends growing up because he thought that they had sold stories on him. Yet he has sold every intimate detail about members of his family for his 30 pieces of silver. Harry is a Judas. Harry is a modern day traitor to the monarchy and to his family. So with people saying Prince William needs to be the bigger person, the fact that Harry hasn't had his nose broken by his brother tells me that Prince William is already a far bigger person than what Harry will ever be. Harry hasn't stopped his attacks. Every time Harry's got a microphone, we saw tabloids on trial. My family should fight it with me. Why should they, Harry, considering you've done nothing but for the past 5 years fight your family, knowing that they can't respond to a lot of the lies and allegations that he and Meghan have directed at them. Now, as for Harry sneaking into this service, we've heard over and over about Harry can't come to the UK despite wanting to for the lack of security. But here he is, showing that he is completely capable of coming into the UK and leaving the UK undetected. But this is the part that raised my eyebrows, because it made me think, well, if Harry couldn't come to his granddad's memorial, Prince Philip's, but he can risk this and obviously risk a confrontation with William potentially, he's got to be up to something big, because he wasn't exactly close with Lord Fellows. Robert Fellows joined the Queen's staff back in 1977 as an assistant private secretary. In 1990, he became the Queen's private secretary until 1999. He supported the Queen through 3 divorces, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and of course, Prince Charles and Diana. He was there through the Windsor Castle fire, supporting the Queen and Prince Philip, Princess Diana's death, and he was accused publicly by Harrods boss Mohammed Al Fayed of orchestrating the murder of his son Dodi and Princess Diana from the operation room of the British Embassy. Of course, this wasn't true and he had alibis, but Diana was known publicly for not liking him either and actually referred to him as being one of the men in grey suits. This is a terminology that we know that Harry and Meghan have also adopted to refer to the Queen's courtiers and trusted advisors. Given, despite the fact he stepped down as the Queen's private secretary in 1999, he stayed on as a close confidant and member of the Queen's loyal staff and inner circle, I'd imagine that Lord Fellows was advising the Queen throughout Megxit and, of course, Meghan's arrival and all of the drama that was subsequently caused. Remember when Harry decided to do that interview a day after visiting the Queen and he said that he didn't like the people that were around the Queen, she had the wrong people surrounding her? Well, I'd imagine that Lord Fellows was one of them. So why would Harry go to all of this effort, potentially risking his future court case over his security and publicly potentially being scarfed by his brother? Harry, as we know, doesn't do anything unless he feels he will benefit from it somehow. It's very clear to me and a lot of royal watchers that have watched this whole thing unfold from the moment that he first went public with Meghan at the Invictus Games back in 2017, I think it was, and their marriage in 2018, that he clearly is no longer as happy as I think the direction his life has gone in. It's not turned out to be as fruitful as I think he thought that it would be. Being an A-list celebrity isn't working out, and his vanity projects or passion projects do not even create a ripple in the tiniest of ponds, let alone the vast ocean by comparison that is Hollywood. The novelty has worn off for American celebrities. Harry and Meghan only bring negative attention, and who wants to risk their own brands for that sort of association? Harry and Meghan thought that they would be global superstars, but they've just turned into a global joke. They are predominantly known for being a pair of whinging, whining, self-absorbed professional complainers that had every opportunity to do good things in this world, and they squandered all of it, all of the public goodwill, because they are greedy, lazy, grifters. They have no real compass, they lack any substance, and have done nothing of note other than attacking Harry's family for money repeatedly. Harry has become even more miserable with Meghan than I think he ever was in his so-called brother's shadow. I think the penny might finally be dropping for him. At least when he was part of the royal family and he was part of the threesome that was Catherine and William, he was part of a team, something he most definitely is not with his wife. She wears the trousers, she makes the decisions, and above all else, she's the one that controls the microphone. The shift that I am seeing is Harry is no longer looking lost or needy or that clingy puppy hanging on to Meghan anymore. He looks uptight, he looks frustrated, he looks angry, resentful, and he looks like he's sick of her bullshit. So this is where my theory of what's actually going on comes into it. Now, as you know, this was a called according to Tass. I have no inside information. This show is just all about my opinion on it. And I just have this niggling feeling that Harry snuck over for this funeral memorial. He snuck over outside of Meghan's radar. The reason why I believe this is because there were no TMZ exclusives. There were no photographs of Harry going to Lax Airport. There were no photographs of Harry arriving in Heathrow. The paparazzi were not alerted to Harry doing this trip. And Meghan didn't do a pap stroll. There's no way that I believe that Meghan would listen to Harry, that Harry's come over because he really does want to start repairing relationships, because he does want to find a way back to the UK and the public's goodwill, that he would have said, Meghan, please don't pull any stunts, please let me do this, and she would listen. Meghan would have done a car park pap stroll because she can't help herself. A leopard, especially this leopard, is not changing her spots. Now, how would Harry have snuck out of the country? Well, as you guys know that follow me, you know my belief is they are separated. They may not be full-time separated, but they live apart a lot of the time. I think that Harry is unhappy, and I think that he knew that Meghan would leak it. So he got out of the country and he did it stealthily. And that's why only after the news broke that Harry was in fact in the UK did we start getting the exclusives come out at such a speed, and especially from People magazine, which we know is their go-to outlet. First of all, we had details released that Harry's emotional tribute to his late uncle. Then we had another People magazine exclusive. Harry stayed at Althorpe with his uncle Charles Spencer. Behind the scenes, the Spencers have been working hard to get the brothers to reconcile. They understand William's hurt at Harry's betrayal, but they also understand Harry's position because of the way Diana was treated by the Windsors. That's quite a damaging statement to be in that. That's quite a damaging quote, really, and that could again kick up a bit of a frostiness atmosphere between Prince William and the Spencers. It's implying that Prince William is somehow the bad guy. So this is all stuff that came out after Harry has attended the memorial and a couple of days later, perhaps even when Harry has flown back home or he's had to take a few phone calls from Meghan. Now, these stories are not good for Harry with his relationship with the Spencers, and this is where I think Meghan's behind it. Revealing intimate details of private family functions such as funerals is nothing new for Harry, but that was towards his father's side of the family. That was to do with Harry waging war against the royals. He's not done that against the Spencers. But when you think about it, if Harry is close to the Spencers and he didn't tell Meghan, maybe he is that unhappy and he is trying to perhaps get some advice and some family support. Let's be honest, Charles Spencer knows his way around a divorce court or two. I think he's on his third divorce currently. What do you think Meghan would do if she feels that she's losing her grasp on her trophy? Meghan made sure that she separated Harry from his family, from his country, from all of his friends very early on in their relationship because it enables her to control him. By these details then being leaked, it could be potentially damaging for Harry's relationship with the Spencers because they would be upset that he would reveal such private, intimate information to do with a memorial, just like he did the royals. If you think about it, this is Meghan's MO. If she is concerned that Harry is perhaps confiding in that side of the family, she's got to snip that. She's got to nip that in the bud. She needs to make sure that Harry knows he has got no one that he can turn to. So at the same time, stories then came out quite quickly talking about how Harry's trying to get his way back into the royal family. Harry wants to make amends with the royals. He wants to come back and take on a few duties and stuff. Of course, huge public backlash, TV programs, TV panels, everybody was talking about it. No chance, no way, Operation No was the general consensus. They did polls, which they love to do when it comes to do with anything Harry and Meghan. And predominantly, it was like you're talking 95%. No, Harry would not be welcomed back by the public. Many people agree that it's up to them as a family. If they want to forgive Harry, that's on them. But Harry cannot come back and have any sort of public facing role anytime soon. This, I think, was also plugged at the same time so Harry could see this. We know that Harry and Meghan do read social media. We know that they do read the comment section. This is another thing that I think would make Harry go, shit, I really can't leave. I think, honestly, this was a panic reaction from Meghan because he did sneak out the country, that he didn't tell her. And that's exactly why it was not leaked, because I refuse to believe that details of this and the waiting paparazzi, that nobody would have been notified that Harry was leaving the country. I think that he just didn't tell Meghan. And this has been the aftermath ever since, because the next story that came out, I think it was yesterday, Harry's friends have come forward to say that Harry has no intention of going back to the royal family. Harry is incredibly happy with his life in California with his wife and children. Harry has lots of future projects going on, and Harry has lots of new friends that he's super happy with. He's really happy. Harry is happy, for those of you at the back. So, as I said, do you think that Harry came back because he was just hoping to have a confrontation with William so he could have a bit of extra content? Do you think that he has just come back because he knew that the media would have a field day knowing that he came, and it just stirs up a little bit of the family dispute in time for the release of Spare? Or do you, like me, think that Harry is beginning to very slowly realise that his life being in his brother's shadow was nowhere near as awful as being in his wife's shadow, and the greatest love story ever told, next to, of course, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, is not quite the fantastic and magical happy ever after that he really wants? So guys, tell me your thoughts in the comments and I will be back with you very soon. Take care for now. Bye.